Welcome. I am Saranya Ghosh, a second year student at MIT Manipal, and in this video, I will be giving you an honest review about my college. I know how college reviews are supposed to work. People go over a bunch of statistics about placements, fees, academics, extracurricular activities, and a lot of other variables associated with the college. But in my opinion, I don't think that's the best way to go about it. You cannot define a college by just its placement statistics. It doesn't give you a holistic picture of what all opportunities are available in the college and what all things can it offer you. This video is going to be divided into 4 segments, and in each segment I will take up a specific topic and give my views about it. Number 0. Rumors. I will be addressing some of the rumors associated with the college. I know that the college gets a really bad rep because of substance abuse, mostly drinks and alcohol and substance abuse. Apparently, it's a party college. There is rampant use of drugs. Now, is that true? Kind of both yes and no. Actually, it's not a yes or no question. It's a lot more nuanced than that. It's the first time people have complete independence and full freedom to do whatever they want and not be restricted to a strict schedule of going to school and coming back. Now, is it a problem in Moneypal? I don't think so, personally at least, because I have a lot of friends in other colleges, mostly IITs and government state colleges and even other private colleges, and they have a similar culture over there. There are always going to be people who are partying and studying and using substances, and it is up to you to decide for yourself what would you want to do. Everywhere the culture is similar. MIT is no different from any other college, and it's not that the college is full of drunkards or something, or people who stay in their rooms all the time doing drugs. I know plenty of people who enjoy a lot, go to clubs frequently, and still have really high CGPAs and maintain their extracurriculars, keep everything in check. I think the reason why MIT gets this bad rep is, number 1, everyone comes from a fortunate financial background. Obviously, the college is not full of filthy rich brats, but nobody's exactly destitute either. Everyone comes from a certain social strata. That's why they're able to afford the really high fees over here. Number 2, the clubs aren't exactly hard to find either. It's a college town. The businesses rely on the students. They know that the club is gonna fill up on weekends. Sometimes there might not even be space to step inside the club, but that's beside the point. My intention of telling you this is that it's not all fun and games. So, the question is, should you be coming here or not? Or if you're a parent wondering if you should send your kid over here or not. Again, that depends. If you're someone who is easily influenced by peer pressure and might give in to things just because other people are doing it or they think that it's cool, it might not be the best choice for you. If you're someone who's not easily influenced by peer pressure and can stand up for yourselves when you don't want to do certain things, I think it's completely alright. I know plenty of people who don't smoke or drink or use any substances at all. I am one of them. I have not had even a single sip of alcohol or even a single puff of a cigarette. If I can do it, anybody can. Nobody can make you drink if you don't want to. But if you're someone who gets easily influenced by peer pressure, you might want to reconsider your options. This might not be the best place for you, but otherwise, if you're steady in your resolve, there is nobody that can mess with you. Number 1, finances. Everyone who's considering this university to be a potential choice for themselves knows that it is super expensive. The tuition fees is super high if you compare it to other IITs or state colleges. If you want to know that the college is going to be worth it in terms of return on investment, that again depends on you. I think the most important factor is your finances. Unfortunately, the world isn't created equal, and some people may have a lot more financial fortune than some others. If you come from a rather middle class family and are considering MIT as your college, there are a lot of factors that you have to account for before you take your final decision. The tuition fees is something that you will have to pay. There is need-based aid though. For my year, I think the cutoff was 8 LPA, which means that if your family's annual income was less than 8 lakhs per annum, you got some kind of scholarship. It really depended on what your income was. It is certainly really useful, and I know several people who have got it, but it comes with a catch. If you accept the need-based aid, then your branch is going to get downgraded by 2 branches, which means that if your current branch was CSE, then your final branch after the aid would be about 2 branches lower than CSE in the original cutoffs. So for example, in my year, the cutoffs were like CSE, CSA with AIML, IT, data science, CCE. So if you were earlier in CSE, your new branch becomes IT. And if you were, let's say, in CCE or in data science, your new branch would become ECE, which came right after CCE for my batch. You also cannot upgrade your branch in any circumstances. If you do, you'll have to forego the aid. Also, you have to maintain a certain CGPA. After first year, you can kind of change your branch according to your CGPA. But if you have the need-based aid, you cannot do it. Otherwise, you'll have to forego it. And throughout your academic tenure at MIT, you will have to maintain your CGPA above a certain criteria. I think it's mostly above 8 or 8.5. On the college website, there are numerous merit-based scholarships mentioned as well. They depend on your rank in MET and sometimes your CGPA. There are both kinds of scholarships available. This can merit a different video of your own. Comment if you want a video on the scholarship part in MIT. The tuition fees will amount to something about 17 to 18 lakhs at the time of shooting this video without aid. It may differ accordingly about when you're watching this. If you're watching this about 3-4 years in the future, the fees may be even more. If this is a big stretch for you and your family financially, then I would recommend against picking MIT. It is a very big burden and it may limit you from taking risks in your career and going for better opportunities as and when they present themselves in the future. You would be much better off at a state level government college for a lot lower fees. If you can afford MIT, amazing. If you want to take a student loan or an education loan for it, the ultimate decision is going to be yours and your family's, but you have to plan it out really well. Look for other options before settling on your final one. Hostel fees depend on the kind of accommodation that you take. They also vary in their prices. From the lowest one in the spectrum would be triple sharing, common washroom, non-AC rooms, and the highest in the spectrum would be a single attached AC room. The fees get hiked every year by a little. I think it's to keep up with inflation. The hostel that you pick will obviously depend on your level of comfort and how much you're willing to spend. Number 2, academics. This portion is going to be me conveying to you about the various academic practices at MIT. Obviously, you're going to university to get an education, and even if you're someone like me whose highest priority isn't academics, it still is going to constitute a very important part of your time over here. I'd say academics over here is definitely a little more on the rigorous side. You'll have 3 labs in your first year, 1 lab per subject once a week, and you'll have theory classes every day, so that makes it about 3 full days. The theory classes will happen every day and you only have to go to the labs on the days that you have to go. I remember in my first year, they had done some kind of a weird experimentation, and that's why there was a time crunch, and then we had to write like 2 week-long examinations. So I'm talking 2 1-week-long quizzes, and then 2 1-week-long ensems, then lab ensems, and then the theory ensems in just 4 months. Even in second year, it wasn't any better, but at least there were subjects that I kind of wanted to study. The curriculum kind of changes every year, not exactly the curriculum, but the way that the internal marks are distributed. You can either have like 5-mark quizzes or open book assignments, or you could have what we had in our first year, which were 10-mark MCQ papers. The curriculum kind of changes every year, so it really depends what the administration decides for the forthcoming year. We also don't take exams on paper or write with pens. We have our exams on ePads, which is kind of like a tablet, which is both good and bad. Sometimes it's really good for the environment. The college is really going for the green initiative. That's why you'll see a lot of energy saving and earth-friendly resources. Like there is an electric buggy that can take you from A to B from anywhere inside the campus. There are also electric cycles that you can rent for a little while for a small fee. But the ePads are kind of always hot and cold with the students. Sometimes there might be technical issues. There are always coordinators present on each floor, technicians who can help you and give you assistance with if you have any problems. Sometimes there can be like a writing problem with the stylus, or let's say if your tablet shuts down for a while. That happens very rarely, but there is still always a case. Sometimes there will be a technical glitch, and then you will have to call for assistance, and then they'll come and see what's the problem, and they might replace your stylus or your tablet, and then there's a little bit of time loss. Sometimes they don't compensate for that. So it's a little bit. Plus your handwriting gets kind of weird because not everyone is used to writing with a stylus on a tablet, and the styluses themselves also aren't as good as Apple pencils either. It's also harder to draw like diagrams and shapes and other things. Don't worry, they will obviously teach you before you take an actual exam. There is a training session that is held in your first semester, so you will be taught how to use them. But there are certain advantages to this as well. Less wastage of paper. The paper gets submitted automatically. Everyone gets the same amount of time. It's not like if you're on the first bench, you will get less time, and by the time the teacher collects it, you're on the last bench and you'll get a lot more time. That's not what happens. It gets auto-submitted every time. Also, since it's not on paper, it's a lot harder to cheat. So that is a pro or a con depending on what kind of a person you are. Another thing, malpractice is taken very seriously over here, at least if you get caught, which I don't recommend that you try to. You can be removed from the exam hall immediately and have all your exams cancelled. There are like different levels of offenses, and depending on what kind of thing they've booked you for, you will have to face the punishment. I have friends in other colleges like IITs and other government colleges or even private colleges. It is so easy to copy over there. You can just take your phone in the washroom and look at the answers and then come back in, or if there's a lab exam, just take the pen drive in. Do not even think about doing that in MIT. If you get caught, which you will by the way, there is like checking that happens every time. During lab exams, they just pat you down. Even during theory exams, there is a squad that comes and pats you down, checks your calculator, checks your desk. If you have like full sleeve t-shirts, you have to roll them up. If you have hoodies, you just like, it's a comprehensive process. And this, if you're trying to cheat, they will catch you. You will be so screwed if you get caught. So it's not even worth trying. One of the things that I really like about the mid-semester and the end semester tests are that you get provided with a formula booklet. So it's basically a sheet of paper, or maybe on the e-pad, there will be a bunch of formulas, everything related to the exam that you need to know. So you don't have to mug up any formulas, and in case if you forget what they are, or if you look at a question and can't understand what it is about, you can just see the formula booklet and try to at least take a gander as to what they're asking and solve it a little. It is such a lifesaver. Let's say if you forgot to study some topic and there's a numerical from there, you can just see the formula booklet. The formulas are even divided chapter by chapter. Can you believe our lucks? It is an initiative to encourage more practical learning and making sure that nobody regurgitates what they have learned. I like it, so does everyone. Number 3, hostels. I think this is a pretty important discussion to have. In your first year, you are expected to stay on campus unless you're a localite and you live with your parents or some relative. If you're not a local student, you cannot take accommodation outside by your own. You're allowed to choose your living situation from second year onwards. First year, the hostels are allotted on a first come first serve basis. So if you want a good room, keep checking the portal periodically and keep a lookout for your favorite room. Hostels in second year are allotted on the basis of your CGPA, which is the worst nightmare possible. I am telling you, the amount of tears people shed, it's crazy. At a point in your semester, people will be telling you that they're studying just to get a good room, and that is true. The scenes get really messy. It's even tougher for boys to get a good room. There is a provision to submit a medical certificate from KMC if you have some sort of condition, which greatly improves your chances of getting a good room. For girls, it is easier to get your preferred room even with or without the certificate, at least in second year in general. After that, it's each person for their own. The thing is, the administration is increasing the student intake like crazy, and the number of good hostels are not able to keep up with it. You will find rooms. It's not like there are no rooms at all, but they're not the desirable ones. You won't be able to find a single AC attached room very quickly. Most guys start living outside from third year. Fourth year, you anyways have to stay outside. There is like a 1% chance you might get a hostel even if you're a girl, but that is mostly not worth it because all your friends are going to be staying outside, and in your hostel you won't have anyone to interact with. So obviously everyone just prefers living outside in their fourth year. So in any case, be prepared to live in an apartment. So this is it for today. I hope you found the video to be insightful. Feel free to drop any questions that you might have and I can make an entire new video answering them. I think it's obvious that you shouldn't be asking that is this college the best for you, or is this college better than this college or this college, because I won't be able to tell you that. Frankly, I haven't studied in any of the other colleges and I won't be able to tell you how they compare with MIT in any regards. I am just one person enrolled among the thousands over here, and everything stated over here was to the best of my knowledge. It is not the deciding factor, and you should make the decision on your own and not let me make it for you. Ultimately, it is to provide you with an insight from a student from this college and not make the decision for you. If you want me to pick the most popular questions related to this video and answer them in a part 2, get this video to 5,000 likes. Like the video, share it with your friends, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Bye!